Let me just start off by saying I am one of those people who will be seated for Avatar Season 2, Book 2. I am ready for it. Let's go to the Earth Kingdom. Things are happening. We are ready. I was, however, watching the trailer and a thought crossed my brain, as it usually does. It's like, why is it so dark? Why so dark? And it takes me back to like the Game of Thrones days. You'll remember the Game of Thrones days where you literally had to adjust everything on your TV screen or your laptop screen and be like, what is going on? It's so dark. It's what happens when modern television and filmmaking wants to show you that we're going into a darker place. This is from what I've seen. So emotionally, things are about to get darker. The stakes are higher. That kind of stuff. Ramsey Bolton has entered the chat. You know, it's about to get weird. And so you take a compelling idea, the idea of emotional and spiritual darkness, and turn it into a visual cue, which, I mean, we eat with our eyes before we eat the actual food, and it's the same thing with content. I hate that word. It's the same thing with entertainment in all its different forms. You visually get attached to the thing, but it doesn't necessarily mean that because emotionally it's dark that the visual has to be so dark as well.
You may be confused. There is no war in Ba Sing Se.
I mean, and let me be honest, watching it on YouTube, watching it on Twitter, a trailer, or anything of the sort, does not give the full extent of what it'll be when you queue it up on Netflix, you queue it up on your computer or your big screen. Yeah, but it is something that I have seen and noticed. And I have been alive for the Buffy the Vampire Slayer line of television and the Xena Warrior Princess line of television and all of that. And there was so much things and storylines that ended up into the realm of dark situations, dark storylines. Stakes are being risen. Gabrielle is dead and she comes back to life, but it's not really Gabrielle, it's her demon child, Hope. You know, Buffy's mom is dead and there's a whole thing that goes on there. These were dark stories, but you could still see the light of night. You could still see the light outside. You could still see the light on everybody's faces. It didn't feel like if they had taken a vignette and just sort of put the shadow down. And I'm not saying that we need to have over brightness. I'm saying it's a thing that I've noticed now with television and film that needs to be dealt with. Sometimes a compelling thought does not mean that we must put our entire thumbs down on the visual cue, because then it stops being a visual cue and it becomes an entire visual identity. So now I know that season 2 is going to be darker because I am watching the trailer be darker. And this is someone who grew up watching Avatar The Last Airbender. This is someone who knows the animated series Avatar The Last Airbender. There were some things in that story, but it didn't mean that the color grading and the saturation point had to be so dark. What are we doing?